After days of sadness, despair, pain, and everything in between, after Russell Wilson's trade to the Denver Broncos, rumors are now ablaze that the Seattle Seahawks may be one of the teams that will try and trade for Deshaun Watson. Big Ben's protege in consentless contact, the massage menace, Deshaun Watson. He hasn't played football in well over a year, but the Seattle Seahawks are apparently in the running for him. Today, I'm going to be telling you why I do believe it is a bad idea for the Seattle Seahawks to try and trade for Deshaun Watson. And over the time since Russell Wilson has been traded, I've been doing quite a bit of research, and I do believe that I have some very good options for the Seattle Seahawks when it comes to replacing Russell Wilson at quarterback sometime in the future, and I will make a video about that soon. But to get into the video, let's get the glaringly obvious issue out of the way. Deshaun Watson may not be the best guy, right? Deshaun Watson, yes, he has beat his criminal cases. He's not going to be going to jail, right, for these sexual misconduct, sexual harassment things that's going on. However, this man still has 22 civil cases against him. That man almost got a tactical nuke in Modern Warfare 2. That man, instead of harassing all these women just trying to give him a massage for some money, he could have went and touched every single player on the football field at once. That would have been awesome. I'd watch that. But he decided to do something bad. So Deshaun Watson, obviously, he can now be traded now that the criminal aspect is gone. But with 22 cases, you got to assume some of that is a bit warranted. But, I don't want to be one of the people that pushes anything that might possibly be a false accusation, because we've seen college people have their careers ruined by that. But, when you have women, especially the ones that filed a complaint to the police without even trying to sue him and get money from him, it seems like there's at least some bit of issues that were arisen from this. And I don't believe that that is a good thing. Going from Russell Wilson, who was a absolutely amazing person, like so much belief in God. He was so good for the community. He was just a great guy all around, incredibly positive, to going to someone who, if he did it or not, who knows, but has 22 civil cases and complaints about doing some weird stuff with his genitalia. It's not a good look. Second, Deshaun Watson, the trade value that I've heard from rumors is absolutely insane. Deshaun Watson, we just trade Russell Wilson for 2 first-round picks, 2 seconds, and quite a few players, but, most of them aren't that great. Deshaun Watson, from what I have seen in rumors, could possibly be looking at a 3 first-round pick type of trade. And it makes sense. I mean, Deshaun Watson, 26 years old, still got a lot left in the tank. He's been to, three Pro Bowls? He's a very good player, and he's still really young, but, for someone who hasn't played football in over a year, it's kind of a hard ask to try and get 3 first-round picks out of him. And I just don't believe that that's worth it, right? Deshaun Watson, no matter how good of a player he is, I don't think 3 picks you are going to be able to get that for someone who hasn't played a game of football in a year. It just doesn't seem correct. And if the Seattle Seahawks did that, they'd have to give up the first-round pick they just got, probably their first-round pick next year, because it's going to be worse than the Denver Broncos pick. And then they'd have to give up maybe even the Denver Broncos pick next year too. So we wouldn't have first-round picks for another 2 years. That would be absolutely terrible for us. I don't think that that's smart, especially because reason number 3, I don't believe the Seattle Seahawks are in the position to try and win now. I don't believe, with Russell Wilson being traded and Bobby Wagner being cut because we're trying to clear up cap space, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are a quarterback away from being able to contend or anything like that, right? Deshaun Watson is not going to walk in here and lead us to the Super Bowl. We have some glaring issues on the team. Offensive line, there are some positions of need that we got to fill some positions, right? We could possibly have Damian Lewis going at center. We just re-signed Phil Haynes. He could go as guard. We still have Gabe Jackson. He could be a guard. Jake Curhan looked good at right tackle last year, and maybe we could draft a left tackle in the first round instead of going quarterback. That would be absolutely fantastic, because I'm not really a fan of going quarterback, Malik Willis, in the first round. I'll say that. I think if there is a really good tackle that falls to us, we should go for that. but also, pass rush. If we could get a great pass rusher early on in the draft, like this year's draft is great for pass rush. It's a very deep class when it comes to edge threats. I think that there is a very good possibility that the Seattle Seahawks, we could suck for 2 years, maybe 3. We get a quarterback in 2023. Maybe we get a later round quarterback this year and just throw him into the fire, see what he can do. I mean, it just doesn't seem like trading for Deshaun Watson now with how many holes we still have on the team, especially with Bobby Wagner gone. If we can't get Quandre Diggs back, that'll be a big issue at safety. I mean, there are a lot of holes that we have on this team that we could probably fill over the next 2 years throughout free agency and in the draft with how many picks we have early on. But we can't fix that this year. And if we get Deshaun Watson and he somehow wills us to like a 9-8 record, then we're not going to have a great pick and we're going to be hindered in what we can try and get next year. I just don't believe that the Seattle Seahawks making a desperation play, getting rid of a lot of first round picks, a lot of draft capital to try to get someone like Deshaun Watson, who, one, isn't really going to be looked at as that great of a person, especially after, Russell Wilson, probably one of the nicest, most positive people in the entire world, just got traded away. I don't think Deshaun Watson is the type of character that we want in here. And obviously, I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson's a terrible person. I am just insinuating it. It's just the fact that I think the Seattle Seahawks, we got to play the long game. I think Pete Carroll and John Schneider might do something stupid, and that worries me. I don't want us to, try and fix our issues immediately out of desperation. I don't think that's a great idea. But Deshaun Watson, I don't think that's a good move. Kirk Cousins, I'll talk about this real quick because that's another rumor. If we trade for Kirk Cousins, that is the most idiotic thing we could possibly do. You do think Kirk Cousins would survive behind the Seattle Seahawks offensive line? Because I sure don't. We cannot sit with a quarterback that is not mobile. Like in the draft, not all of the quarterbacks, but a good amount of the quarterbacks have at least shown in college that they can scramble around in the backfield. They can move. Drew Lock, he might suck nuts and balls, but he can move. Someone like Kirk Cousins, that man would be like Eli Manning falling over as soon as he got the ball because there'd automatically be a pass rusher in the backfield. It's just, I don't think the Seattle Seahawks should trade for a quarterback, especially for what you got from Russell Wilson. Use that. Try and build for the future. If you completely miss on every draft pick, like everybody assumes that you will, then fire Pete Carroll and then just give up. It does not seem like a great idea to me for the Seattle Seahawks to try and trade for Deshaun Watson, try to trade for anyone, frankly. Maybe we could pick up Marcus Mariota for a year out of free agency because he'd be fun to watch. I think he would do better than Drew Lock would. But other than that, I don't think there are great options to replace quarterback this year. Maybe in the second round, Desmond Ridder. I kind of like him. There's a couple other guys that might go in the second round. I don't think drafting a quarterback this year in the first round is a smart idea whatsoever. Maybe a second round, third round quarterback, or we get someone in free agency to try and fill the spot for a year. I just think the Seattle Seahawks should not try to fix quarterback right now. There are a lot of other holes on the team that need to be fixed first before we put all of our faith into a quarterback. But that's just my opinion. Let me know down below in the comments what you think the Seattle Seahawks should do. Should we trade for Deshaun Watson? I say no. That's just my opinion, mainly because I'm not a fan of someone who has 22 civil suits for sexual harassment. That's a whole football field's worth of, stuff. So just my opinion. I don't think Deshaun Watson would be a great idea for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think any quarterback this year would be a great option. I think you take Drew Lock, throw him into the fire, let him suck, get someone in 2023. I'm pretty adamant on that being the best idea. But let me know down below in the comments what you think the Seattle Seahawks should do. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you're new. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.